Welcome back to the Out of the Rough podcast presented by Weirdo Fantasy. As always, my name is Nate with Weirdo Fantasy, and joining me as always is my co-host Jake. Jake, how we doing today?
We're doing pretty good, Nate. I'm not sure if you were able to catch the DP World Tour last week, but it went down to a playoff between Rory and what's his name, Lagergren,
Yeah,
maybe.
Blungergan,
And
Joakim Blungerman.
and I was tuned into the end. He hit one of the best shots on a par five. He put it to like 4 feet to eagle. I think it was either 15 or 16
Blungerman, that
to
is?
take to take
Yep.
the outright lead. Then Rory on 18 sinks a long eagle putt to tie him. I think it was three or four playoff holes later. Lagergren just dumped it in the water. Rory played it safe. And yeah, I believe that is Rory's. Let me pull it up
Off the top of my
exactly.
head, should be 13 maybe?
11 DP World Tour wins and 22 PGA Tour wins.
So
So,
12.
just unbelievable. Rory's playing some great golf heading into the Ryder Cup. But overall, good weekend, I would say.
Man, that shot by Lagerman, as you mentioned, like it was not only like 4 or 5 feet from the hole, but the hole was tucked back and there was probably 10 feet of green to land this with like
Yeah.
water in play all around. Like it was such a ballsy move to, whatever you want to say about it, man. It'll go down as one of the best shots you could possibly ever see in golf right there. And then of course takes Rory McIlroy to the end and just couldn't hang on. Like that's what happens with Rory McIlroy. Eventually, like you're gonna mess up, and it's just gonna be too much because Rory McIlroy, the world's second best golfer for a reason, and all of that. But yeah, we were been off last week. I was sick and things just didn't work out. So not much to talk about last week anyhow, except our reactions to the Ryder Cup selections and pretty much how we thought, right? We were pretty
Yep.
much spot on there. The only thing was Keegan Bradley going to be a player's captain or not? And it'll not being, I think we called Team Europe through and through,
Yeah.
and then I called Team USA. I think the only difference we had was Captain Keegan, and it wasn't the play there. So really exciting times. We'll say it again. We'll say it again next week too when we do our final one. Or I guess we have 2 weeks yet, Jake. But
Yep.
this is insane. Like it's the Ryder Cup's right around the corner. It feels like the most important Ryder Cup in history. Like golf's at an all-time high. We're thriving here. Jake and I will be there in person. Uh, yeah, it's just exciting times all around in golf. And I mean, this week too, like the amount of golf we have this week on top of quality golf as well, like this is unheard of for a fall series week of golf and probably the final big weekend of golf, outside of the Ryder Cup for the entire calendar year. With the
Yep.
Procore Championship, we have 10 of 12 Team USA members there this week. You have the which one was that? Wentworth. What's it called? The BMW
Uh,
PGA Championship, right?
yep.
You have 11 of 12 Team Europe there. Then you have the Corn Ferry Tour playoff starting. LPGA is turning on with an event that has like 16 of the top 20 women in the world teeing it up. You have the Hotel Planet Tour turning it on. You have a ton of quality golf, and I'm excited for this week, Jake. But yeah, before we do hop into things, we're people on social media.
Yep. You can find me at the Jake Friedman on Twitter. Both my outright cards are posted there. So be sure to check those out. Also, be sure to join our Discord, completely free to join. Reach out to Nate or myself, and we'll get you the link to join that. Great community coming up on 300 members in there. Very active, great channels in there all around. Definitely one to highlight is the community wager tracker, where everyone places their bets in there. And we challenge Nate to see how organized he is so that he can post out who's on what players, and that gives us a nice rooting list for the end of the week. It also allows us to jinx and not jinx properly. So if no one's on a guy, we're free reign to let it rip in there. But overall, great community, a lot of fun's had in there, and just a lot of knowledgeable people with just additional information at your fingertips completely free. So no harm in just joining and checking it out and seeing what's there to offer. If that interests you, then just reach out to Nate or myself and we'll get you in there.
Yeah, my apologies. I was rather sick last week, so I didn't get the community wager tracker posted last week. But yeah, if you don't post your wagers and we jinx a guy, that's on you. Like there's the opportunity to post them. So there's that. But yeah, guys, great tool to have at your fingertips. I know it's been a little slow going as of late. Just kind of decompressing from the full PJ Tour season and all of that, and things will get ramped up here with some fall series stuff, Ryder Cup stuff going on along the way. But of course, you can follow myself, Nate, on Twitter at WKF Nate. Be sure to follow We Know Fantasy on all forms of social media at We Know Fantasy. Be sure to visit We Know Fantasy account for some more fantasy sports content, fantasy baseball, basketball, football, NASCAR, golf, everything we have you covered on there. My weekly PGA Tour uh, full in-depth breakdown every week of the PGA Tour, where my DFS plays are posted as well this week as well. We have DP World Tour weekly on there. Working on LPGA weekly. I have another LPGA event this week posted on there. Trying to keep that going. Live full breakdowns in season when that's there as well. A lot of great stuff to have on that website. For the fall series, we had the Out of the Rough one and done for the full PGA Tour season, but we're going to do an exclusive fall series one, so look for that. Looking for the We Know Fantasy, excuse me, the Out of the Rough newsletter, completely free, compile everything we have to offer in a week, content wise, in one easy setting, plus exclusive full placement charts. And yeah, there's probably something else I'm forgetting, but it's been a while, Jake. So let's just move on to some golf. Let's do what we do here, talk some golf. Procore Championship this week. And as I mentioned, 10 of the 12 members of Team USA to be in attendance this week. Of course, Bryson DeChambeau, not qualified for this event, as a member of Live, and Xander Schauffele surprisingly had a child that no one knew about. Everyone was kind of skeptical on why he would skip this event, and it came to find out that him and his wife introduced their first child recently. So congrats to him, and hopefully he's getting all those child snuggles wrapped up before we head to Bethpage here and get him ready to roar, get Xander going.
Yep.
Either way, kickoff here of the FedEx Cup playoffs. No, excuse me, the FedEx Cup fall here. So a little rundown of what we have to expect here. We have, of course, the top 50 that finished the FedEx Cup standings have already secured cards for the 2026 season. 51 through 75 essentially have secured their cards. Now they're playing for placement in signature events next season. And then 76 through 100 is wide open. That's what you're looking to play yourself into for cards for the 2025 season. Those outside of the top 100, this is new this year, guys. It used to be 125, so we're down to 100 full cards through this. You have to get through the first, be in the top 100 through the playoffs, which include your points from the regular season up until and through the FedEx St. Jude Championship. So you're looking to get in the top 100. From there, the 100 plus will then either look for alternate ways to find themselves a PGA Tour card, most notably through Q School qualifying. So yeah, a lot to play for, especially with that number being reduced from 125 to 100. We're going to see some big names, not big names, but like household names, notable names that you would notice as a golf fan on that, outside looking in at this point of the season. But either way, this is the first of 7 of these fall FedEx Fall Cup events. I'm trying to get that name down because you want to call it the FedEx Cup Fall Series or whatever. But 2025 edition of the 19th playing the Procore Championship at Silverado Resort in Napa, California, formerly the Safeway Open, the Fries.com Open, and most recently the Fortinet Championship. Procore takes over as a sponsorship of this event that's been played since 2007. This event has been played at the Silverado Resort since 2014. So this is its 12th installment at that golf course. As I've mentioned 100 times, 10 of the 12 Team USA members this week are here, making it the strongest, Procore slash Fortinet Championship fields we will ever see, possibly. And this is the difference I feel like last time around. The most of Team USA skipped out on this Procore Championship in 2023 as like the final tune-up for the Ryder Cup, and then most of Team Europe, if not all, played in that event at Wentworth, leading into the dominance of Team Europe at Rome. So it's good to see him taking it a bit seriously here, get this final tune-up in this week, and head over to California and doing so. But some other notable names: Maverick McNeely, Akshay Bhatia, Max Gracerman, Matt McCarty, Nico Ichivara. Um, Also teamed up along these Ryder Cup members. Pat McKizzire comes in as defending champion, having run away with this event, winning by 5 strokes over David Lipsky season ago. So if that doesn't tell you how this event was without the Ryder Cup in play a season ago, I'm not sure what does. Other former winners you have, including Sahith Theegala in 23, Max Homa in 21 and 22, Cameron Champ in 2019, and Emiliano Grillo in 2015. So the North Course at Silverado Resort plays the par 72 at 7,123 yards. Robert Trent Jones Jr. design opened in 1957. Recently became under the co-ownership of PGA Tour veteran Johnny Miller. He lengthened the track upon his acquisition of it, narrowed the corridors. Miller was known for his aggressiveness off the tee, so of course the golf course he owns will, reflect that. The fairways this week will run on the narrow side when it comes to PGA Tour. But even though these fairways are narrow, they're pretty much straightforward. There isn't any terms like dog leg or a deterrence off the green, just kind of straightforward, narrow fairways. So nothing really to note about there. He did some significant reconfiguring of the fairways and greenside bunkers since he's acquiring the cores. Fairways are tree lined, and there are some water hazards in play, but again, are rather straight. Going along with the generous fairways, the rough is hardly a problem this as well this week. It'll be ground out to approximately 2.5 inches, but there isn't much of a penalty for missing the fairway. So this is really a bomber's paradise, bomb and gabs of a golf course. The greens are majority Pawa Anya and are smaller in comparison to the PGA Tour scheduled event or courses. They run the slower side of the stimp meter, so a strong putter isn't necessarily the difference maker at this event. There's a higher than average green regulation percentage because of these slower greens holding balls on approach shots. Nonetheless, this course also is rather short, honestly, in comparison. So we're looking for some approach shots from 75 to 150. Three of the par fives this week are reachable within two. And then the main line of defense that this week at this golf course is the par threes. They have three, or each of the par threes play over 180 yards. Three of the four par threes rank within the top four of the most difficult holes on this golf course, excuse me. But yeah, beyond that, temperatures and weather look absolutely fine. So yeah, checking that here before we move forward.
No, just wedges and hot putter. That's pretty much the weight that I put in my model this week, and my card screams that, hopefully.
All right, Jake, I got four guys on my card. I think you have what, three?
Yep.
All right, so I'll kick things off here, and it's really easy to look towards these Team USA guys, but in my mind, there isn't really a demand for these guys to come out here and compete and win. I think they're going to be more focused on working on a certain aspect of their game and trying to fine tune something and lead up to the Ryder Cup. With that being said, I'm still going with one of them, and I think that is JJ Spawn. He is my favorite here at 30 to 1. And in doing so, I think JJ Spawn still has a lot to prove. Like he's an automatic qualifier through the basically the U.S. Open Championship win. That's huge. Of course, he's U.S. Open, the toughest challenge in all of golf. Very difficult, in doing so. But beyond that, there isn't much that screams super success out of JJ Spawn. So I think he's still rather motivated. And on top of that, he plays 25th at the Tour Championship, 23rd at the BMW Championship, second at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, 23rd at the Open. Missed a cut the Genesis, plays 14th of the Travelers, and won the U.S. Open coming this week. Played this event each of the last five seasons, 26th the season ago, 11th and 23, 59th in 2022. Missed the cut in 21 and 9th in 2020. He's currently seventh on tour on approach. He's 37th in strokes gained putting POA. He's 40th in strokes gained off the tee, 40th in par threes, 49th approximately 75 to 150. 54th birdie or better, 67th in driving distance. So he checks all the boxes I want this week. A strong putter on POA, elite irons, and some plus distance off the tee to go with some strong off the tee metrics along the way. Really fits the mold well. I think he's got a lot to prove yet. The type of guy that I don't think he's going to like check out of a golf event just for the sake of being there or really, using it as a fine tuning tool altogether.
Yeah, Nate, I don't really have much to add there. I like the play on JJ Spawn, and personally, I took the idea of, yeah, they might be trying to fine tune some things, but like both these courses, like PGA Tour and DP World Tour, are not great comp courses for
No,
Bethpage. So like what these guys are going to try to work on is hitting their irons nicely, getting off the tee nicely, and making putts, which is how you win golf tournaments. If this was more of a style towards Bethpage, I could see them working on stuff more often. But like at the end of the day, you just want to get your putter fine-tuned, you want to get your wedges fine-tuned, and
just play
that's how
some
you
good
win
golf
at
overall. Yeah.
exactly. And that's how you win this tournament in particular, from what I've seen, is just hot irons and a good putter. And JJ Spawn, like you said, he's one of those guys on Team USA who it's never too early to get on the board for a win. And I think JJ Spawn's going to be motivated here.
There we go. Well,
All
I'm
right.
assuming your card's littered with some Team USA members then.
Yeah, I've got two of them. So I'm going to start off with one, and I was between a couple of them because I think there's a lot. People don't give Team USA enough credit for like the form they're in.
Oh
Like,
no. Yeah.
I can go on a rant about this, but people hate Patrick Cantlay. Look at the form the guy's in. He's freaking. He might not win, but he's in some good form. Anyway, I went with Justin Thomas, 20 to 1. I went with this number because he's not in the greatest form out of the Team USA guys, but the course history is so sticky here, and he's been incredible. Four top 10 finishes in his last four top 10 finishes in 5 appearances at this event. He hasn't played it rather consistently, but the last time he played it, 2023, he finished in 5th place. What do we know about Justin Thomas? It's incredible wedges, and his putter has been nuclear this season throughout the year. He has a win at the RBC Heritage. And what do you know about Justin Thomas is that he's a competitive guy. He's going to want to get himself into perfect form, and getting those wedges and putter dialed is how he's going to win Team USA his matchups. And I think that just combining that with the course history, I couldn't overlook it. I thought 20-1 was a big enough number for me to take a shot.
Fantastic, because he was like the guy I decided between JJ Spawn or Justin Thomas. I went with Spawn because I thought there was a little more urgency in his nature to get another victory here before the Ryder Cup. And simply he has a much better number when I was looking at like JJ Spawn at 30, I think. What you have Thomas at?
20.
Yeah, so he was around 25, 22. Justin Thomas was when I was making my card. So, you know, simply the better number on someone like JJ Spawn with that's basically it. But I love the Thomas play for the exact reasons you explained there.
Yep.
All right, so moving past the Team USA guys, I'm going with my next play here, and that's Akshay Patia at 40-1. 10th on tour in par threes. He's 11th on approach, 12th in strokes gained putting POA, which took me by surprise because what do we know out of Akshay Bhatia and his entire career is the poor putter and trying everything to try to find some form in it. And apparently he's very good on POA. So I love to see that when you're, combining with this golf prodigy that is Akshay Bhatia with those, crisp irons. He gets off the tee, not in the greatest, metrics. He is not, he doesn't give you plus distance off the tee. He's about average in terms of distance off the tee. But those irons are too good to ignore. What was it? 11th on approach. He's 18th approximate hole from 75 to 150. Then we're talking 98th off the tee, things like that. But man, these irons are elite, elite, elite. They always come elite. It's a matter if the putter can cooperate. And the POA numbers, if you're looking for strokes gained putting per grass type, check out WeKnowFans.com. It's there for free. Every type of grass type on that website. Easy enough. But he's very good on POA. So I'm really excited about that. 40-1 to be kind of like those first kind of guys outside the Team USA numbers, unless we're talking like Maverick McNeely or something like that. But actually, Tia 40-1, I think there's great value there. And if that putter cooperates and these irons are as hot as they normally are, there's a real chance he takes down Team USA this week and gives himself a victory.
Yeah, Nate, I love the play. I decided between a couple of guys here, and Akshay would have made my card if I went a different direction. He's gained with the irons in 11 straight, and that's on average probably a stroke per round between those 11 starts. Like it's a very considerate like number. And the putter was nuclear to start the season. Like I was looking at the putter numbers, I was like, Akshay should win, and he doesn't have a win in his last 25 starts. He doesn't have one in 2025, so that's added motivation to just get the win under the belt for the season, and then just chug along from there. I love the shout there. If the putter cooperates and the off the tee isn't such a disaster, the irons are so good for Akshay. I love the number on him.
Yeah, you mentioned how his putting was so good to start the season early on, and that's where you get your POA courses. Like when we're out west on the California golf courses, talk about a strong putter to start the season. That's where the POA is. So makes sense, with the strong POA numbers for actually there.
Yep.
All right, Jake, who's your next guy?
My next guy here is, I would argue, another Team USA guy who probably has equal or more motivation than anyone on
Sam
Team
Burns.
USA. Sam Burns
Got it.
doesn't have a win in 2 years. And that's a little daunting. I know that, he's a great player. He's been playing some great golf as of recent, but just it's I feel like if you were like Jake, name a player who just wins once a season randomly, my answer would probably be Sam Burns. Like one time a year. And he just hasn't done that recently. And I think that's just added motivation for him. He's, best putter on the PGA Tour. That always helps. The irons have been cooperating recently. He's been getting off the tee very nicely. It feels like the win has been creeping up for Sam Burns. And at 20-1, I was fine taking a shot on him. He finished T7 here in 2021, missed the cut in 2019. I just feel like, again, a guy who's going to fine tune it, but who's motivated to win come Sunday and just get that win that's eluded him for the past couple of years.
Yeah, look at this. He was the last guy in the Team USA, right? And there were people screaming for Captain Keegan to be a player's captain. And if it weren't for, say, Sam's Burn, technically it would be Keegan Bradley, right? So there is that underlying motivation to Sam Burns, but hey, I need to show up. I need to show these guys why I was picked over Keegan Bradley for this Ryder Cup and kind of, I hate to say it, but hush the haters, right? Like that type of terminology. On top of just being a fantastic golfer with that elite putter and plus it's off the tee, it's a rare combination. Yeah, love to play nonetheless, Jake.
Yep.
All right, so I have that my, shorter guys at 30 and 40. So I just have a few long shots here to round out my card. The first one being Patrick Fishburne. And, you don't it's a fall series event when Patrick Fishburne makes your line up your card because last year I remember I think we both layered him throughout the fall series because the numbers
Yeah.
were so good. So we're back here 100 to 1. You know, he placed third at this event a season ago in his sole appearance, so you love to see that. Some great form as well. Eighth at the Wyndham, 44th at the 3M, 52nd at Barracuda, sixth at the ISCO, and 18th at the John Deere coming in. 43rd off the tee, 54th in average driving distance, 55th in the par 5, 69th at searching and putting POA, 71st birdie or better, 74th par 3, 84th approach, 88th scrambling, 93rd around the green, excuse me, and 95th on proximate hole from 75 to 150. So top 100 in all the metrics I took into consideration this week. 100 to 1, why not? Some great form along the way. Am I fully confident Patrick Fishburne takes down Scotty Scheffler on a Sunday? No, but at 100 to 1 after I already have my 30 and 40 to 1 guy, it's worth a shot. The numbers line up and we'll see what the type of motivation Team USA has this week to compete. Patrick Fishburne here is my third play.
Yeah, can't fault you. 100 to 1 in a field like this. Has a good result here. Like I said before, sticky course history. So if he can build off of that, he's going to be a surefire play for years to come at this tournament. So I like the call there.
Yeah, this is a golf course that is really reflective on course history. If you guys haven't noticed or taken a look at one of our my placement charts, I tweeted out one of them. You can get the other free one on the free We Know Fantasy, excuse me, out of the rough newsletter. So a lot to take in there, but yeah, there's some good, a great correlation between course history here.
Yep.
All right, Jake, who's next?
My last play here is going to be Semi Valimaki at 110 to 1. I've littered this guy throughout the year, and you know what? I think that this is a really good spot for him. Like, if this was not a Ryder Cup team showing up here, his number would hopefully be slash, but I would be hammering him home. He's accurate off the tee. His irons have been nuclear over his last three starts, and what I like is a lot of these guys haven't played since the end of the season, so beginning of August for most of these guys who didn't, qualify for, the playoff and whatnot. But Valimaki's played overseas, and in his last three starts, the Wyndham Championship, he gained over a stroke per round with the irons. Same with the Danish Golf Championship and Omega European Masters the last couple weeks overseas, where he finished T2 and T8. So good finishes overseas. The irons are nuclear. He's a great putter too. He's gained with the putter in six of his last seven. It makes a lot of sense for Valimaki to play well here. You know, is if he's going toe to toe with Scotty Scheffler, I'm not feeling too good about myself. But at the same time, if these Ryder Cup guys end up playing themselves out, and it's one of these long shots that, I think Valimaki is a great candidate here to, rise to the top and potentially get his first PGA Tour victory.
No, it's a great play, great course fit, and we just again don't know what the validity of one of these Team USA guys winning this week and where their head truly lies or what they're attempting to do here, and if it's more of just a kind of a for show thing because of how it happened between 2023 with not playing the Procore and then going on, well, it was the Fortinet back then, and then going on getting romped out of Rome. So we'll see what happens, right? And then the same thing over at Wentworth. Like I guess I need to look at the number, like who has won in Ryder Cup years. Is there a Ryder Cup guy who's winning every time? I think that's something interesting to look at too. But no, like the chance, just again taking some flyers here in case those Team USA guys kind of come out flat and don't get the victory this week. Someone's got to do it, and aside of them, this is a rather weak field.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
All right, with that being said, my final play, Sam Ryder, 150 to 1. 15th on tour and scrambling, 15th in par threes, 44th in putting on POA, 48th birdie or better, 85th around the green, 89th approximate from 75 to 150. 96th on approach. 19th in his last appearance at the Wyndham Championship, 68th at the 3M, and 14th at the Barracuda. Mixed bag results here over the past 5 seasons. Missed the cut in 2014 or 2024, 2022, and 2020, but placed 14th here in 2023 and 58th in 2021. So if that trend continues, he's at least making the cut this week. So if you're looking for like a plus value and a made cut guy, Sam Ryder's your guy as well. But 150 to 1, some good numbers. And again, someone's got to win this golf event, so we'll take a chance here.
Yeah, he feels like just a fall series guy. Like I know we talked about it last season, Nate, where just some of these names, it's like he's going to be a fall series winner. He's going to contend in the fall series, and I don't know why, but Sam Ryder feels like that guy to me. I like the shot here. He played some good golf into this week. Has, a fourth place finish in 2019, a 14th in 2023. So why not Sam Ryder?
Yeah, we'll through the next few months of doing podcasts in the fall series, you're gonna hear Jake and I say he just feels like a fall series guy.
Yeah.
We're gonna say that 100 times. And Sam Ryder's definitely one of them. Like a few names like a Carson Young or a JT Poston, like someone like that just feels like they win on the fall series for whatever reason.
Yeah, and Nate, two things before I go. First of all, my personal FOMO is definitely Russell Henley or Patrick Cantlay. Two, Henley just because he's playing out of his mind. Cantlay, it feels like he's going to win every single week and just doesn't do it. For some reason, it feels like that little guy, that little prick, is going to do it to us this week and just leave everyone with nothing before the Ryder Cup. Second is Tom Kim, 125 to 1 in this field.
Well,
What's
yeah,
going
I mean
on?
he's on my card at 150 to 1, so not on my card, not publicly. I mean, of course I'm gonna back Tom Kim because if Tom Kim goes out here and wins a golf event at 150 to 1 and I don't have at least a $2 on him, I will be forever kicking my butt. But
This feels like a good place for him.
it does. This is the golf event. Like this feels like a good golf event for him. Like he, I hate to say it, maybe be the fall series merchant, right? Um, yeah, he's a warm weather, seems like a warm weather golfer, a West Coast kind of Southern golfer. He has success at Texas, California along the way. Two of his wins are in Nevada, even. So like plays these courses well. He's got some plus distance off the tee, very good irons, and can get a hot putter when needed. And I'll look at his POA numbers, but man, I need TGL to come back just so I can get some daily dose of Tom Kim being a good golfer again.
Yeah.
All right, Jake. With that being said, let's move on overseas to the BMW PGA Championship and just an equally as important and talented event. We're truly, gifted this week with, you can wake up, across the weekend early with the BMW PGA Championship on and 11 to 12 Team Europe members on, then it flows right into, the Procore with 10 of 12 Team USA members on and, trickle into the LPGA along the way. Like it's going to be a great weekend of golf and I'm really excited for it. Like again, it's the last week, like jam-packed full week of golf. For the entire calendar year. So I'm trying to soak it in and get as much out of it as I can. But yeah, the BMW PGA Championship, of course, kind of one of the signature events on the schedule there. It is let me get this right. It is a Rolex Series event along with a Hero Dubai Desert Classic, Genesis Scottish Open, and then the Abu Dhabi HSBC Championship and the Tour Championship, which is later on this season. The event has been originally known as the British PGA Championship. It was first staged in 1955. It has been, of course, a part of the DP World Tour since its inception in 1972. Uh, tournament was once held annually in May, but when the US PGA Championship was moved to May in 2019, the DP World Tour made the decision to move the BMW PGA Championship into the fall slot. So again, the only Team Europe member not playing this week is Sepp Straka. Again, I don't know. I guess rumor has it that he has a child as well, but it was I don't know the validity of this, so I guess whatever. Had a premature birth of his child.
Yeah, there was something personal going on with him. I'm not sure. He hasn't been around, I'd say, the last month, right? Or give or take.
Yeah, because he withdrew from like the tour championship and all of that as well due to family issues or personal issues, and we haven't seen him since really. And then, we were kind of skeptical if he would get called to the Team Europe. I mean, deservedly so with the season he had to make that team. We just didn't know about this personal issue, and then rumors were circulating that his wife prematurely had their child with some complications, something like that. So I'm not sure the validity of that. Again, that's not me breaking news or anything. That's just what I saw across the internet today. All right. Either way, Sepp Straka is not playing this week. So you got Rory McIlroy, Robert McIntyre, John Rahm, Ludwig Oberg, Matt Fitzpatrick, Timmy Fleetwood, Terrell Hatton, Rasmus Hogard, Victor Hovland, Shane Lowry, and Justin Rose playing this week. And of course, You also have the captain, which I was very surprised not to see Keegan Bradley play the Procore. Like I'm very surprised Luke Donald, Europe's captain, will be playing this week alongside his members, which is pretty cool to see. Like I would have loved to see Keegan in the Procore. I'm really surprised that he's not there, Jake. Um,
I I think I'd rather my captain like scope out and like be able to watch every single shot of the team players versus like Luke Donald's going to be grinding on 16 while like half these guys are in the clubhouse. He's not going to see a single shot that they hit. So personally, I kind of like that Keegan's not playing. Maybe he's just taking it in like, hey, I see something's clicking with JT or I see something's clicking with, JJ Spawn and this is working, this is not. He's going to get some extra playing time or I'm going to talk to him and this is what he's got to work on versus Luke Donald, who he's got to put his homework in at night.
yeah, makes sense there. Field continues on with DP World Tour regulars John Perry, Laurie Cantor, Kenta Nakajima, Christopher Raitan, and Marco Page. And of course, you have another slew of LP or of PGA and Live golfers included in this week's field. You have Hideki Matsuyama, Corey Connors, Jonathan Vegas, Patrick Reed, Nikolai Hogard, Ryan Fox, Tristan Loris, Alex Norgan, Parks Kapka, and Ryan Gerard. Billy Horschel, that's right, Billy Horschel comes in as the defending champion, having topped Thurston Lawrence and McElroy in a playoff a season ago to claim his second BMW PGA title. It's such a random person to have won this event. Billy Horschel to be a two-time winner of this event. Really wild stuff. Other former champions, you have Ryan Fox in 2023, Lowry in 2022, Hen in 2020, Danny Willett in 2019, Francisco Molinari in 2018, Alex Noren in 2017, Rory McIlroy in 2014, Matteo Manassero in 13, and Luke Donald himself, 11 and 12. So the West Course at Wentworth in Surrey, England plays the par 72 at 7,267 yards, designed by Harry Cole and opened in 1926. The course, of course, of the course, the course, of course, has since undergone a series of alterations. Most recently, under the guidance of Ernie Els, between 2009 and 2010, the greens were completely remodeled and the par 5 finishing hole was drastically changed. The old 18th hole was once a surefire birdie and a great eagle opportunity, but with the addition of a large stream snaking its way in front of the green, it has now been changed to a stunning risk reward finishing hole. It is a tight and flat tree lined Heathland designed golf course. The greens are tricky to read, especially since its 2017 renewal and the renovations that took place prior to that. The greens were once a bent grasslands POA annual blend that has been since replaced to a pure bent grass, so that creates a much trickier and faster putting service. A brand new sub air system was also put into place to keep them greens fast and dry. So, along with the change of the greens, the bunkering throughout the golf course has changed in an attempt to restore the course closer to Colt's original design. It was once believed that through the years and through the renovations that the bunkers became too deep and too challenging. So I guess they want to resort back to how Harry Colt had this laid out in his early 1920 opening. All 50 metrics aren't that much worrisome this week outside of driving distance in order to just have better approach shots. Although it will be taken putter into account in my model, we've seen plenty of victories of mid-tier putters in hand. So in all, a tree-lined parkland design that uses water as its main line of defense. I think there was a bit of weather, if I'm not mistaken. I think on Sunday with some higher winds. Maybe I think it's something else, but yeah, Sunday, 22-mile-per-hour winds, 17 on Saturday. So some winds really into weekend. So looking for some wind players there as well. Jake, anything to add before we move on?
No, I think you covered it. Just one thing, when you were listing off the winners, and I know you mentioned it or a little bit during the Procore, this is a tournament where the cream rises to the
This is
top.
it.
Like
Yeah.
this is where you play the top of the board because you have to. You look at the top, the past couple years of winners, and it's all the top of the board. I mean, Billy Horschel might be the furthest out there, but again, also you're gonna want to hit fairways, and the putter is not the end all be all because Shane Lowry has one here. That is the reason.
Love the subtle Shane jab there. But yeah, definitely. I played to the top, then a very talented guy, then a long shot just to round up my card. So I'm right there with you, Jay. Cream of the crop really gets it done here, as you mentioned. The Rory McIlroys of the world, the Billy Horschels, who may not be the most notable name, but he is a PGA Tour regular, and at one point a top 10, 15 golfer in the world. So you're still talking a very capable golfer. The Shane Lowry's, Terrell Hattons, like just some very good winners of this golf course. So
Yep.
Jake, I have four guys on my card. I think we have one crossover now.
Yep. Same
Let's
here.
just
4 with a crossover.
let's kick it off with our crossover then. It's Matt Fitzpatrick. I got him at 30 to 1. I think you're 25 to 1.
Yep.
But the real thing here is the form. He's played two of the last three tournaments of the DP World Tour, sixth at the Betfred British Masters, fifth at the Omega European Masters. Prior to that, 17th at the BMW Championship, 32nd at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, 8th at the Wyndham Championship of the PJ Tour. On the DP World Tour, he is currently second in tee to green, fourth in putting, seventh in scrambling, ninth in approach, 11th in driving distance, 20th in regulations. He's 34th in bogey avoidance, 35th here a season ago, 18th in 23, 42nd in 2022, 20th in 2021, and 7th in 2020. So played a lot of this golf course, has some good course history. And then, across the world of golf, there may be no one in better form than Matt Fitzpatrick right now. We talked about the motivation with some of these Team USA guys. There's probably no one more motivated to win now on Team Europe than Matt Fitzpatrick, not having done so since when did he win last? 2023, probably at the RPC Heritage, I believe it was.
Correct.
Yep. So you haven't won that long. You have a very, very poor Ryder Cup record at 1-7 over three events. You know, up until like the last 3 or 4 months, you would have been like, there's not a chance in the world this guy makes this team. Goes on a heater throughout the last part of the season and kind of was the last guy on this team. So he's really got to put some stuff in here. And, with the form he's been playing and how well he's been on the DP World Tour since moving over, even at the end of the PGA Tour season, he was scorching hot as well. He was on anyone and everyone's card. But man, I saw the number at 30-1. Could not leave that out there. I know there's some big names, the Rory McIlroys, the John Rahms, those type of guys teaming up this week. Just could not leave a 30-1 next to Matt Fitzpatrick's name.
Yeah, this was a late ad for me. Like Nate and I were talking before the show,
Yeah, late
and
ad is in, what was it,
like
30 minutes ago?
exactly. But I couldn't get away from it. Eight top 20 finishes in his last nine starts. Again, another five top 20 finishes in nine appearances at this event. Just in too good a form. Cream is rising to the top, and Nate brought up a great point of just the added motivation for him to just get himself right. This is a big tournament on the DP World Tour. Like this
Oh, it's
isn't the
huge.
Procore. Like this is a meaningful tournament that like if they win, there's actual like it's not like you're winning the Procore where you're like, I'll stuff that in the back of my
Yeah.
trophy chest. Like this is front and center, especially for a guy like Matt Fitzpatrick
Yeah,
at Wentworth.
home soil
So
and everything.
exactly, exactly. So I'm there with you. You convinced me. I got a 25 and I'm happy about it.
All right. And then, well, my next guy's on Team Europe as well. I noticed yours as well. So I'll let you kick it up. But this is not a crossover.
Yeah, so I've got Victor Hovland at
Yep.
22-1. The reason why I did this is I think ball striking like rises above everything else when it comes to playing at Wentworth, and Victor Hovland is the best ball striker in this field, in my opinion.
Maybe
He's
in the world
gained
at right now.
exactly right, and he's gained in accuracy off the tee in his last six starts. The putter he's gained in his last five. So the results are kind of a mixed bag, but overall, a 12th place finish at the Tour Championship, a T7 at the BMW Championship, another Team Europe guy, great form at this event. Two top fives in 2023 and 2022, a T11 back in 2019. So good course history. The underlying numbers are there for Victor Hovland. He's very volatile. If he plays himself out on Thursday, it wouldn't surprise me. If he wins this event, it also wouldn't surprise me. So if you're not coming in first in the outright market, you're coming in last for me. So I'm taking my shot on Hovland.
I like that statement there at the end, Jake. Was he the guy, or was that Ludwig Oberg recently? We were on, I think, both, and vowed never
It was
to bet
Aberg.
him again because you
Yeah.
could never figure him out. It was Aberg. Okay, okay. I just want to trying to hold you accountable. So
Yep. And
I'm
that's why
wrong.
I'm
I'm
not on
wrong.
him.
There we go. Yeah, no, Victor Hovland, he was one of the guys in my final three or four in this price range because I did the same thing you did, it seems, is pack some of the top and find some value there. Victor Hovland definitely has it. Ball striking, the approach numbers have been so good. Like, I don't know how to put it into perspective how good his approach numbers have been in the last 3, 4 months, but they have been out of this world. Like if you took that 3 month stretch of the ball striking and approach numbers for Victor Hovland, they may be the best numbers in like history. Like they were that good.
Yeah.
Just everything else brought him down, right? So we'll see what comes out this week. But if ball striking does come up, he's definitely one to compete for it. And another guy like that, I'm going here with Robert McIntyre, another 30-1 guy. Had him right there along Matt Fitzpatrick, but he will be making his first post PGA Tour season start. And again, a Team Europe guy as well. Most recently placed 17th at the Tour Championship, second at the BMW Championship, 30th at FedEx St. Jude, 44th at the Wyndham. On the PGA Tour, he's 20th tee to green, 34th in putting, 35th in green regulation percentage, 40th on approach, 41st in bogey avoidance, 58th in scrambling, 86th in driving distance, 12th at this Venice season ago, 45th in 2023, 50th in 2022, missed that guy in 2021, and 58th in 2020. Robert McIntyre is another guy that is a highly motivated individual. He's a guy that you can definitely get under his skin rather easy, it appears, as well, with maybe a drone or a little bit of a heckle can really get this guy off the rails, it seems like. But these are the type of events that Robert McIntyre lives for. He's from Scotland, but this is also a meaningful event for the United Kingdom as a whole. And for the DP World Tour as a whole. He just feels like a guy that would come out and play well at this type of event. And his game fits it, obviously. And again, 30 to 1. You know, on the PGA Tour, if you're giving me Robert McIntyre or Matt Fitzpatrick, I'm probably taking Robert McIntyre. So I do love the number at 30 to 1 to go along with Matt Fitzpatrick. And again, wouldn't surprise me if he won this event. He's a cream of the crop type of guy, of course, being a Team Europe at this event. So just two guys, 30 to 1, I think, with some plus value in this field.
Yeah, McIntyre's a guy who could just like spike across the board and win any tournament that he tees it up in because he's such a well-rounded golfer. So the 30 to 1 is there. I was tempted and I went the shorter route. I'm a Robert McIntyre stan. I would love to see him win, and it's definitely a bit of FOMO on my part. Um, he's just every time he tees it up, I think he's competitive and can win. So I
Yeah.
love the play no matter what.
Yeah, he's just a grinded out type of guy that feels like, right. I just feel like there's something to his game that has some plus value underlying the numbers here. So,
Yep.
all right, Jake, who we roll out next then?
Yeah, I'm going with the most popular long shot, Angel Ayora. I got him at 110 to 1. Just can't pass up on a young guy, 20, just 20 years old, in some unbelievable form. I believe last week at the Amgen Irish Open was his best finish on the DP World Tour, where he finished T5. Um, again, it's just a young buck. It's a long shot in some good form. T5, T8, T13 in his last three starts. He has not played at Wentworth. But just his stat profile, he's been getting off the tee so well all year. Accuracy and distance, very good. The approach is really inconsistent, but what we saw last week, he gained just under a stroke per round with the irons. The around the green game is pretty solid, and the putter could be, hot or cold. And when it's hot, it's over a stroke per round. So I like the spikeability with the putter. No course history, a little worrisome, but he's just in too good a form at too big of a number. If the Ryder Cup team wasn't here, I think his number would be slash close to half. So I'm happy to take a shot at 110 to 1.
Yeah, I love Angel Iora. I was on him early this season. He's been a fantastic, promotee from the Hotel Planet Tour. The only problem is that putter is so bad, right?
Yeah.
It's I'm trying to find like a PGA Tour equivalent of someone that is so good, but the putter is so bad. I mean, even like an Akshay
Siwoo
Bhatia.
Kim in
What's
this
that?
field. Siwoo Kim in this
Yeah, like
field.
Siwoo Kim, like phenomenal tee to green, excellent golfer, and then just can't putt to save his life, and that's Ayora. So I really was reluctant just because of the fact that Team Europe is here. So like, if you're giving me Ayora trying to make some putts against a Matt Fitzpatrick or John Rahm or something like that, like sure, like it's gonna be absolutely tough. But the form he's in and all of that is phenomenal. And again, this is a guy who's gonna win on the DP World Tour and be a PGA Tour staple sooner rather than later.
Yeah, what I like to see with him is he could just go low one round. Like at the Amgen
Oh
Irish, he
yeah,
went 67 on Sunday. At the Omega European Masters, he went 64 on Sunday. So he can come from out of nowhere and contend.
there we go. All right, we go for a little bit of a still a long shot, but a middle guy, a guy who I think can really win this event, and that's Matt Wallace at 75 to 1. I have not seen the I guess quote unquote wheel of death, Jake. I'm not sure if he's on there. I feel like he would be
I haven't seen it yet. Let
on the
me
golf
pull it
tip
up while you
trackster
talk.
stuff. But either way, Matt Wallace, 75 to 1. This is a guy who, around this time comes to the DP World Tour and competes and wins golf events. Second in his last start at the Omega European Masters, played three of the last four events of the DP World Tour, 33rd at the British Masters, 64th at the Danish Golf Championship, 27th at the Wyndham, and third at the 3M Open, recently PGA Tour. On the PGA Tour, he's 13th in scrambling, 44th in tee to green, 49th in bogey avoidance, 50th in putting, 69th in average driving distance, 83rd in green relations, and 93rd on approach. 12th here a season ago, 75th in 2023, missed the cut in 2022 and 2021, and 24th in 2020. But again, a guy, from England, some added motivation there, and just type of guy who comes at this time of the year and competes and wins golf events at the DP World Tour, seems like every season.
Yeah, I like the play. I definitely gave him a good look because I think the number is just big,
It's a
right?
big
Like
one.
he's a great player. Nate, I have some bad news. He's number 4 on the Wheel of Death, but I
Well, Jake,
still
I'm
like the
looking real
play.
quick, and the first three number names on the Procore Wheel of Death are Batias, Shaw, or Spawn, and Fishburne. So I'm
Oh
toast
man.
there.
And then it's Burns and Valimaki's on there too. So
Yeah,
we're
that's a
really
rough
covering the
one. And
board.
Thomas, holy crap.
Yeah, is he really? Oh God, I thought I was going low with Justin Thomas. Anyway, bad commentating here. But anyway, Matt Wallace, I really like the play. The I mean, the Wheel of Death hits sometimes, right, Nate? And
Yeah,
it's a big community win, so why not do it on both tours this year or this week?
yeah, for sure. I mean, again, just a big number for a guy who realistically competes at these type of events.
Yep. So
And
I'm going here. Oh, did you have something to add there?
no, I was just gonna ask you who your next guy was. So look at
Yeah.
that. Bad podcasting on my end.
A guy not on the Wheel of Death, which I'm happy to see. Oliver Lindell. I got him at 180 to 1. I've been playing him for, I don't
Yeah.
know, 3 months straight. He's taken over the best approach play on the DP World Tour. He is hitting the ball so well. His results are so freaking good. He is so close to breaking through. Do I think it's going to be against this cream of the crop tournament that you need to be with the Ryder Cup team there? Probably not. He's a 26-year-old who's just hitting the ball really well. I can't take my finger off the button here. He has 3 top 10 finishes in his last 4 starts, a seventh at the Amgen Irish, a 17th at the European Masters, an eighth at the Danish Golf Championship, a seventh at the Mexico Championship. Irons are nuclear. He's an accurate driver of the golf ball compared to distance. The putter he's gained in 7 straight. I feel like the win is coming for Lindell, and 180 to 1 is a massive number. I'm happy to take a shot on him.
Yeah, again, popped in my model because those approach numbers are so good, and nothing else to add there as a rather long shot at 180 to 1. But who is second on approach on the DP World Tour? And that's John Perry. I'm playing 200 to 1 right behind you. Eighth in bogey avoidance. He's also 13th tee to green, 15th in green regulations, 17th in scrambling, 102nd in putting. That's really the downfall there. 29th last week in the Irish Open, 13th in the Mega European Masters, 43rd at the Brentford British Masters, 3rd at the Nexo, and 16th at the Open. Love to see all of that. What I do love about him, we're talking about a guy at 201 who is second on the DP World Tour at approach, and he's 13th in tee to green. That is absolutely insanity type of numbers for a guy at 200 to 1. Some great results as of late. Again, super tough for John Perry, a recent promote tee from the Hotel Planet Tour to come out here and compete with Rory McIlroy and John Rahm's of the world. But man, it's just a huge number for a few dollars to pay a lot of dollars back. So why not take a shot at a guy with, again, insane approach numbers and some tee to green numbers?
Yeah, Pari was a guy that I considered this week. There's a lot of these DP World Tour staple guys that like have absurd numbers. Like Christopher Ryoton, for example, is like
Oh my goodness.
150 to 1. Like it's taking all of my willpower to not
Bet
hammer
20
that
of them.
home. Right. And it's just look, it's an opportunity, right? If the cream doesn't rise to the top, you have all these DP World Tour staples who are comfortable playing overseas and can get the job done here at massive numbers to pay massive dividends for you. But, at the same time, the history has spoken here. But look, we've structured our cards similarly with cream and some long shots. So I think that we're pretty well balanced here. I hope that we get one done here.
Let's hope so. It's been a little bit of time. I
Yeah.
need I need live back so I can make some money. Weird to say. All right, Jake, anything to add here before we do hop off?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah, so next week, I think we have 1 week left of some DP World Tour golf. I think it's what, the France Open, I think next week. Yeah, it is definitely the French Open. I would say definitely without looking up because my mind is that good. But I think it's the French Open next week. And then, of course, the 22nd would be our Ryder Cup preview. I'm sure we'll have some fun with that. We'll do something to make that interesting for you. Hop on next week to talk the DP World Tour event and maybe a little brief introduction to the Ryder Cup as we're super excited for that. But yeah, that's it for this week. Jake, where can we find you on social media?
Yep, you can find me at DJ Freeman on Twitter. Outright cards are posted there, so be sure to check those out. Be sure to join your Discord, completely free to join, no hidden paywalls once you're in there, access to everything and everyone. Reach out to Nate or myself to get you the link to join that so we can get you in and keep the bots out. Feel free to share your picks, your opinions, ask questions, do anything you want in there. It's really an open forum for, you, the user, to make what you want of it. So, completely free resource at your fingertips for you.
For sure to be sure to check that out. You can follow myself, Nate, on Twitter at WKF Nate. Be sure to follow We Know Fantasy on all social media. And until next time, guys, we'll see you.